typical characteristic. It was a urban or rural civilization. Sanjay, I'm asking you a question. Indus Valley civilization is a village rural civilization or a city or urban civilization? Huh? I'm asking, Indus Valley civilization is categorized as a rural or a village type civilization or a city, village. Try to focus on that class. It's a more urban city type. And then Vedic civilization. After Indus Valley, there is a civilization or a culture, Indian history, enters into Vedic phase. So in Vedic phase is city type or village type? Vedic civilization is city type. Bhante, is correct? No, yesterday we had class. No, I'm asking Indus Valley and Vedic civilization. We discussed two types of civilization, two types of system. So, which one is urban? Indus Valley or Vedic? Vedic is urban. No. Okay, so listen to class. Vedic is Vedic. Okay, and what is one of the reason of destruction? The destruction of Indus Valley. So, where this Harappa and so I showed this map. Okay, let me show it again. No, it is present name is Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. That's the present name. Ancient it was, we don't know what was the name. Present, as I said, what is the meaning of Mohenjo-daro? Mound of dead people. That is the present name. People started calling, so this, this is present India map, this is Pakistan, you see in the river, so this is Indus River, it flows from here. So this was all based on this river. So this part of yeah, right now Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, they both fall in Pakistan, they are not a part of it. But just 75 years back, Pakistan was part of India, Bangladesh was part of India. Till 1938, Myanmar was part of India, like British India. And overall speaking, these all places are part of Indian culture, all these, including majority of China and Thailand, Myanmar, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Afghanistan. They all had a very strong presence of Buddhism, all these places in ancient times. Right now it's not there, but in ancient times, so if you read their history, they have a very strong presence of Buddhism and Indian culture. And in these regions, you still find presence of Buddhism and Indian culture. So Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, this is the Indus Valley civilization. Harappa is precisely located here. Mohenjo-daro located here, and there are others. So it was Indus Valley migrants, they developed Vedic culture, but it was mostly agro-pastoral. It was village, not a city culture. Vedic India gets developed in three stages. When the third stage comes, we discussed yesterday that some historians, especially Marxist historians, they attribute development of Buddhism because of the iron technology is introduced, surplus food is there, so new type of philosophical religions are developed. So Buddhism and Jainism, they are more renunciation oriented. In Upanishad, in Ishavasya when we were discussing, there is a verse called Isavasyam Idam Sarvam Yati. There is a last sentence says Ten Yakten Bhunjika. I'm not writing because you don't have to not compulsory, but just try to focus what I'm saying. There is a statement in Upanishad, Ishavasya Upanishad, it says Yen Yakten Bhunjika. Only those who can renounce those who have enjoyed much. Renunciation will happen only when you have enjoyed the things. Because you possess the thing, then only you can renounce. In order to leave something, suppose I say I leave my house, I left my wealth, I leave my house and I became. First I need a house, then only I can leave it. Right? So I need money in order to leave the money. So on these types of religions like Buddhism and Jainism, there are more renunciation-based tradition. Vedic tradition is not very much, renunciation-oriented. But Buddhism and Jainism, so mostly, if you see Jainism, there are 24 Tirthankaras, the major teachers. All 24, they all are sons of king. Buddha himself is a son of king. So these are people are renouncing. Buddha, if you read his biography, he enjoyed all the pleasures. He understands the true meaning of renunciation. A beggar cannot say that I have renounced the beggar on the street who is begging. Buddha is also a beggar, he is also begging. But he is not a beggar. In a sense that he has enjoyed everything and he is. While a beggar is begging for enjoyment. So there is a huge stark difference. So this type of tradition, Buddhism, Jainism, they are developing only when society is already wealthy, rich. It could not have developed in earlier phase. I'm getting this idea. Buddhism and Jainism, they are developing first. They are urban. In Vedic civilization was not urban, but mostly when Buddhism, Jainism, they are developing, they are urban. They are developing in the urban centers. Like we discussed, 16 Mahajanapadas were there. 16 townships were there by that time. And where these Mahavir and Buddhas, their main centers, they are dwelling across these places. So already people were wealthy. And people were interested in sort of philosophical ideas. That who am I? What is purpose of my life? What will happen after the death? These all are philosophical questions. A common person who is struggling for earning money generally don't bother about these philosophical questions. So, it is said, I was reading a survey in America. Out of 1%, that means 25% of American population, they follow one or other, Indian origin meditation tradition. In India, that is not true. In India, out of 4, you won't find one people, they are following some meditation. But in America, that is happening and they are following Indian tradition. Why? Because they realize that, happiness is not, so they are more richer than India. They are more developed and they know that happiness is not coming from. While most of Indians, they are struggling with their livelihood, to how to get the money. So they are not much interested in meditation and, I'm getting what I'm connecting this with current situation. So these types of traditions are developing in a sort of where people have realized they are wealthy people and they have realized the futility of the wealth in order to become happy or in order to find a meaningful life. So, before we go, So we have discussed these all in yesterday's class. These are the
it's a way like a structure can become Brahmin or maybe Vaishya can actually become maybe Kshatriya.
So his question is that Vedic civilization is divided into class or caste structure. Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So his question is, can a Kshatriya become Brahmin? Or can a Brahmin become Kshatriya or Vaishya become Brahmin, Shudra become Brahmin? Is there a transition or is happening? If we are speaking of Vedic time period, in Vedic time period that was not based on the birth. Nowadays, still these caste system survives in India. Still, not very strongly, but generally people they identify their Brahmin, somebody is Kshatriya, somebody is Vaishya. Still it survives. Right now it is based on the birth. A Brahmin son becomes Brahmin. A Kshatriya becomes this. They take the surname. So the Kshatriya take the surname of his father. Although not necessarily a Kshatriya is a warrior, not necessarily a Brahmin is a priest or a scholar, not necessarily Vaishya, but they inherit the surname. The surname. For example, my surname is Pathak. And Pathak means reciter, those who do the Ved part. And in my family, nobody does that. Nobody knows anything about that, ancient method of recitation of the Ved, Vedic chanting. Nobody knows. Nobody is aware. They are just inheriting the surname. And they are claiming that they are Brahmins. Nobody knows. So at present there is nothing as such. But still people retain this caste. In Vedic time period, we have multiple evidence, not one, that this was just based on occupation based. Somebody is Shudra, born in a laborer family, a peasant family, but he is interested in learning something. So he gets, for example, Upanishad story. There is a Upanishad story where Sweta Ketu, a student goes to a sage, and in order to learn Upanishadic teaching, and generally the teacher asks, "What is from which caste you come from, or which class?" The question is there, and then the student says, "I don't know. I don't know about my father occupation. I don't know my father." So he said, the teacher said that you are truthful, and if you are truthful, you are a Brahmin. So it is based on the guna and karma, the characteristic. If person is noble, if person is speaking truth, he will fall into category, not because of birth. Presently, a Brahmin could be a very bad person, cheating person, all wrong. But in those days, if somebody is having a characteristic which is required for a scholar, he is a Brahmin. In those days, even somebody born in whatever caste, for example, King Ashoka, the famous warrior King Ashoka. Everybody knows King Ashoka. Now, in which caste will you fall? Kshatriya. But if you look at his ancestry, he belongs to Shudra. But he is Kshatriya because he is a warrior. So this caste system was based on the occupation, not on the birth. So there was a fluidity. Right. Now there is no fluidity. In fact, now this entire structure is just it's not alive in that sense. They are just carrying the names. Like I am carrying the surname, but I don't know anything about that. So that is how it used. There are many merchants, those who are in Vedas. Many Vedic rishis or Vedic sages are there, those who come from different backgrounds. Somebody is Shudra, for example, there is a Vedic sage called Vith's mother. His occupation is weaver, which will fall in this laborer. But he is a Vedic sage. There is a famous saint called Vishwamitra, which is quite famous. Vishwamitra. He belongs to a warrior class, but he becomes a rishi. He becomes a Brahmin. Like, so these things were there, but they were not sacrosanct. Also, role of women in Vedic time period, there were many Vedic sages, which Apala, Vishwavara, Ghosha, Gargi, Maitri. You are from Delhi University. You know Gargi College, Maitri College. These all are named after those Vedic sages, which were female, very famous. But later on, or in present day, maybe last 500 years, Vedic teachings were prohibited for women. So things changed. Indra was the most prominent god in Veda, not the present day Hindu gods, what you see in the temples, for example, Vishnu, Shiva, Durga, they were not prominent. Indra was the prominent. So, maximum number of Vedic hymns, Vedic prayers are dedicated to Indra. And in present day, you don't find a single temple of Indra. Huh?
Why? Because Indra is the king of the.
No, this Vedic time period we are discussing 2000 years back, more than 2500 years back, maybe 4000 years back. In those days, the tradition was something different, and it's so that people were more, they feared from the rain, flood, natural calamities. So, Indra is a king or a deity for the rains. So they wanted good crops, they wanted no flood, no thunder, lightning. So they prayed to Indra. Later on, philosophical traditions grew up, like Buddhism, Jainism, and in Hindu philosophy also they grew up. Then they shifted. Now, they became more philosophy oriented. Shiva is more related to philosophy than a history or Vedic Rudra is a very wrathful. He's not the present day Shiva. Shiva means auspicious. Shiva, literal meaning. While Rudra is wrathful. He's an angry god. And also minor god, minor deity. So Vedic traditions were different from present day Hindu religious tradition. But you see some common elements. It's not that Indra is not at all there in. He has become a minor deity. In Buddhism also it is there, and in Hinduism also, but he has become a very minor deity, not a prominent like in Vedic time. Agni. And then we see this growth of towns gradually. And in late Vedic age, that means around Buddha's time period, idea of karma and transmigration of soul and dharma, righteousness, these types of ideas are developing most. So Buddhism and Jainism, they are inheriting these ideas from pre-existing beliefs, pre-existing religion like Vedic tradition. So they are inheriting these.
They have not come out nowhere.
Yes. In Buddhism and Jainism, they accept spiritual karma is accepted in Buddhism, Jainism. Yes. Although they are not Vedic traditions, but they transmigration of soul is accepted. Yes. Reincarnation accepted. Yes. Dharma, righteousness accepted. Yes. So these are already there in later Vedic time. The concept of Brahman and Atman. So this also we have discussed in our university. That is part of that. Then what we call the spiritual age, where asceticism, non-violence. By this time already city type of culture was there, kings were there, they were fighting a lot. one of my friends, so I was studying in Delhi, and a friend of mine, he knew that I am from Bihar. He said, "Oh, you are from a very good place. No, look, Buddha got enlightened there, Mahavira got enlightened, they lived, they built in the place. You are from a very good place." I said, "No, you require doctor when you are sick. No, if you are healthy, you don't need a doctor, right?" So Buddha, Mahavira, they were required here because here bad people were there. They were fighting a lot. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? No, that is why these Buddha and Mahavira, they have to come, they have to appear here in this region. Because lots of problems were there. Anyway, just I don't think I am from Bihar, so I don't say Bihar is a bad thing. But yes, they were required here. No, why? Because you tell non-violence is necessary. If somebody is non-violent, why would you tell him that no violence? Violent people, you have to tell them. So that means, when non-violence is decreased here, that means people were violent here. Okay, so this is another perspective as well. So, yeah. So this type of religion got developed. They emphasized non-violence, compassion, and so this is just in one nutshell. This is concluding slide of Vedic time period. So there is a early Vedic, there is a stage 2 middle Vedic, and we can call it the third stage, late Vedic. So texts were Vedas, religion were Vedic, mostly ritualistic, and based on human needs like agriculture, say fire, protection from fire, these type of human needs. Religion was mostly human need based. Now in second stage, there are small states governed by ruling class, group of common text are elaboration of social system, karma, reincarnation, dharma, and human needs plus some identity is also coming in the religious order. Like this is say ritualistic religion, this is a more philosophical religion. That type of. You can differentiate Vedic rituals from Vedanta. Third phase, it is arising because of dissatisfaction of worldly religion. Because already towns are developed, people are rich, they are not satisfied. So this is happening around 2000 Mahavira time. Text, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Tripitaka, Jaina, Agama, they all contain very similar ideas. Non-violence, human needs. These traditions are more for the answering the metaphysical and philosophical questions, and religion is becoming more personal kind of thing. So this was the time in which Buddhism got. Let us have a 5 minutes break and then.